Today here in the dungeon, we're checking out the Prophet digital delay from TC Electronic. Okay, I've demoed a few of these smorgasbord pedals on my channel now. My first experience was with the Fangs Metal Distortion, then I did the Blood Moon Phaser, the Thunderstorm Flanger, and now the Prophet Digital Delay. And I still have a desire to try the Afterglow Chorus, the Sky Surfer Reverb, and possibly the Echo Brain Delay. You know, what I've noticed, for a line of budget pedals, all of these are, every pedal in this series is $49 to $59. What I've noticed, and this is from both my experience with the ones that I've demoed and the ones that I own, as well as some of the other demos that I've seen. The gain and overdrive pedals are pretty good. The modulation effects seem to be really good. This is my first personal experience with any of the time-based effects, but all the time-based effects seem to be fantastic. A couple of brief features on this pedal. Controls here are very simple. Time, mix, and repeats. Very simple to operate, you know, pretty straightforward as far as delays go. Time controls the speed of the delay itself. The repeats, that controls the number of repeats. And the mix controls how much of the delay can be heard versus the original note. So I like the original note with a little bit of delay after it, so I keep that dialed back a little bit. The other feature of this is the switch here on the side that you can change from 16th note delays, 1/8, and 3/8. And 3/8, by the way, is dotted eighth. Dotted eighth delay is pretty cool. If you don't understand how dotted eighth delay works, it's an offbeat delay, and if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, the dotted eighth sits right there. So it's kind of right in the middle of a 4 count, if you will. And then when you implement that into a song, and Iron Maiden's Moonchild, the intro to Moonchild, is the first song that comes to mind if you need an example of why that's a really cool sound. Other than the fact that it does not have tap tempo, and for a $59 delay pedal, I cannot really expect it to have tap tempo on it. But other than that, I don't have any complaints. I think it sounds great. I think it's easy to operate. Again, all these pedals have top mounted jacks, so they are, you know, especially for the size of them and the weight of them, and these are very solid, very solid pedals, built like tanks. And for the fact that they have top mounted jacks, you know, that makes it real easy to conserve pedal board space. Standard 9-volt input. All these pedals, for some reason, they all say 100 milliamps. They all say 100 milliamps. None of them require anywhere near 100 milliamps of current draw to operate. Delay and reverb are usually going to be a little bit more. I'm guessing, and I'll look this up and have it posted on the screen, but I'm guessing this is probably going to be in the 40 to 50 milliamp range. 3 different digital delay modes, a solid metal housing, top mounted jacks, and the switch. By the way, the switch is non-latching, so it's a momentary switch as opposed to a latching switch. So what that means is the effect operates on the release as opposed to the engage. And the other thing is, when you disengage the effect, the delay does not trail. There's no trails on it. So if you like trails on your delay, when you shut it off, this isn't going to give it to you. It just kills the signal altogether. I see people go both ways on that. I particularly like the trails, but if I don't have it when I turn the delay off, it's not the end of the world, I suppose, in most cases. This whole line of pedals came to be, I'm assuming sometime here in the last year or two, when Behringer bought out TC Electronic. And what all these pedals are, with the exception of 2 of them, is these are the old Behringer effects pedals. If you remember, if you don't know the ones I'm talking about, they're everywhere in the used market. They're the inexpensive ones that came in the plastic housings. I'll be honest, I thought they were terrible, but they were very, very, very inexpensive. So TC Electronic actually took those designs and upgraded the insides, you know, upgraded everything on it with upgraded components, upgraded electrical components, put a new switch on it, put good solid knobs on it, and put it inside of a metal housing, and most importantly, rebranded it under the TC Electronic brand name. And that is how what I call smorgasbord pedals came to be. And I call them smorgasbord pedals because when TC Electronic first announced these on their website, they had them labeled as the smorgasbord of tone. They're not labeled the smorgasbord series or anything on the pedal itself or on the box or package or anything like that. That's just kind of the name that I've given them, and everybody seems to know what I'm talking about when I refer to them as that. If you are looking for a real good sounding digital delay and you don't need tap tempo, this is definitely a very solid option. And assuming you have space for it on your board. As you can see, this is a pretty large stomp box. If this Electro Harmonix Badstone phaser is an example of your standard size stomp box, you can see the difference in size. These are pretty big. But at the same time, if you've got several of them, again, because of the top mounted jacks, you can mount them all just like that right next to each other and don't need any space in between them. So outstanding effort from TC Electronic. I will be purchasing more pedals out of this line. I am very, very impressed with them for the price, and you know, and I like to play with them, and it's never a bad idea to have an extra delay or chorus or whatever it may be laying around. If you're like me and you throw pedal boards together on a whim because you got a gig coming up suddenly and you need something small and simple for it, pedals like these I found are very, very good things to throw on a pedal board like that. And they're also fun to pull off the shelf and play around with here in the studio. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below. Any and all applicable links down in the description below as well. And that includes methods of contact, email, Facebook, Twitter, as well as a link to my personal website where you can see all of my videos and then some. More gear videos to come soon. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this video, most likely you're a musician. Most musicians were inspired by an event at some point in their lives to want to play music. However, what if that event still occurred, but you had no means of your own to acquire your own instrument? There are thousands of people in your own community that would love to get involved in music, but do not have the means to afford their own instrument. Please donate your broken or unwanted gear to my friends at Share the Music, where Share the Music will take those instruments, refurbish them, and give them to somebody just like us and help change their lives for the better.